May the 8th morning. Danica Coffey to face Landry. And take a drop ball for a strike at 72. Robbie Guest has the plate today. Brian Crochet's at first. Chelsea Clark over at third. LSU 41-13, 12-12 in the league. Oklahoma 43-7. The Sooners went 17-7 in the league. And this is their first meeting of the season and their first postseason meeting since the Women's College World Series semifinals in 2016. We saw LSU shut out Mississippi State 5-0 yesterday. Beth Torina's Tigers had 9 hits and a couple of walks. They had a 4-run second inning against Raylan Chafin, the former Tiger, one of the best pitchers in the league. Another one of the best in the league is Landry right here. And she begins the game getting a slow ground out to third for Nellie McEnroe-Marinas.
Sam Landry is just so long in the circle. She throws with good velocity, has really long arms and long legs, and the ball gets on you in a hurry. So you're worried about her speed, but then she can bring her changeup and work both north and south in the zone, side to side, both sides of the plate. The way that, to me, she has elevated her game in her senior year, transferring over to Oklahoma and working with Jen Rocha has been really special to watch. She was really great at Louisiana the first 3 years, but the level of competition that she's played in the SEC this year and kept her consistent ERA, her consistent stats and numbers has been impressive despite the better competition.
Facing Jayla Lassiter, LSU's center fielder. Lassiter in her first year with the Tigers after 2 seasons in the league with Ole Miss. She had 2 hits yesterday, including an infield single that brought in 2 runs. 1-1 from Landry. Is a little low. That's going to be the crucial area in the strike zone for Sam Landry and her catcher Isabella Emmerling, also a transfer. She came from North Carolina. A lot of new faces for Patty Gasso this year.
And there's that changeup. She told me a couple of weeks ago that that changeup is her favorite pitch. She's able to rebound even quicker whenever that pitch gets hit because she has so much belief in that pitch that she just chalks it up as like, oh, well, moving on. She loves that changeup so much.
Throws it again. Lassiter didn't bite. 3-2 for the Tiger Jr. He's brought some speed, some swagger, and some confidence to LSU. Jayla Lassiter trying to bring them the game's first base runner. And she won't. Landry triples up.
There's that favorite pitch. It is her changeup. She throws it right at the bottom of the zone. Perfect location. Lassiter way out in front of that pitch. She's going to throw her drop ball more this season than ever before in her career. It's her most used pitch at Oklahoma this year. Alongside that changeup, she'll work in her screwball and her rise ball, which is her best chase pitch out of the zone. And when you look at her numbers from the first 3 years at Louisiana to Oklahoma in terms of pitch usage, she's really transformed into a pitcher that relies more on changing speeds and goes more vertical up and down with her rise ball and drop ball instead of more east to west with her curve and screw. And there's her screw. I mean, as a right-handed hitter, when you see 72 miles an hour right at your knees, right at the bottom of the zone, that's a hard pitch to get your barrel to. She gets a really good angle and cuts that pitch inside, a pitch that she has felt more comfortable throwing this year working with Jen Rocha.
She's behind Macy Badger on 3-0. And here comes Emmerling with LSU's biggest hitter, Tori Edwards, on deck. Edwards has moved down to the cleanup spot. So obviously it's incumbent upon these LSU top 3 hitters for Beth Torina to give Edwards a first inning chance. Yesterday, LSU went down 1-2-3 in the first, and then Edwards was hit by a pitch to begin a 4-run second. A 3-0 strike is in there after the meeting in the circle.
Goes to that screwball whenever she needs a strike. Seems like she'll go to her screwball or her changeup whenever she needs a pitch to get back into the count.
Here's a 3-1. Grounded to third. That will twist foul, and it's 3-2. Oklahoma had the third best pitching staff in SEC games this year, 3.65 ERA. The fifth best offense and the best record a half game ahead of Texas A&M at 17-7. Landry, their ace, with a 3-2. It's low, but it's a swing by Bergeron. She's punched out, and Landry punches out 2 in a row in a perfect first.
And that's a big call to go Landry's.
Straight coming in. Dropped 2 of 3 against Florida over the weekend. And Berzon's first puts runners at second and third. Patty Gasso was very happy about it. Ball 1 low to the freshman Gabby Garcia. Garcia having a tremendous freshman year. 15 home runs, 47 RBIs, both lead the team. Coming out of Chandler, Arizona. One of many members of the Orange County Batbusters, a travel team that's like a pipeline to OU.
And Sydney Berzon is going to have to be careful with trying to find the command of her drop ball. That last one was left more up in the zone. You saw the patience of Gabby Garcia, just looking like she just full-blown took that pitch until she got a strike. A little bit more aggressive with that take. You can see as the barrel starts to move forward, the take before that just looked like a dead red take on a pitch that was more up in the zone. A lot of patience that they're going to show to Berzon until she can prove that she can command the strike zone.
Garcia swings away on 3-1. Off the netting, and the count runs full.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, I watched Oklahoma lose the series in Tuscaloosa to Alabama, and they looked a little bit more timid, unsure in their swings. And then it was the weekend after that I was watching them play in the past few weeks where their swings have been so much more aggressive and strong.
Well, they're patient at the right time here. They've walked 3 times in the inning. The only out was donated by McEnroe Marinas. And Beth Torina is going to hang out in that LSU dugout with a bases packed and 1 out for Sid Sanders. The only senior in the starting 9 takes ball 1. Sanders, one of the most patient and powerful hitters in the nation, has the world at her disposal here. And she takes strike 1.
And that's an off-speed curveball that Sydney Berzon threw very well in that Florida series too. Whenever she looked so strong in the circle, she did not just rely on her drop ball on both sides of the plate, but she also spun an off-speed curveball. A lot of these Oklahoma hitters are getting the very back of the box to combat that drop ball and make her bring it up.
Sanders is hit by the pitch, and Oklahoma scores a run with 4 base runners, all via free passes. 1-0 Sooners in a wild first inning for Berzon.
Trying to get this drop ball in the inside corner, ends up riding too far in, and just Sydney Sanders just wears it. Doesn't move at all, and you don't have to if the ball is fully in the batter's box. She knows that that's going to be an RBI in the first run of the game for OU.
Ilana Agbayani takes a strike. Wonder how long Beth Torina will go with Sydney Berzon. They've had Tatum Clopton, the transfer from Oklahoma State, up all inning. 0-1 for the second baseman, Agbayani. A weak ground ball. Berzon goes home for the out. A 1-2 fielder's choice for out number 2.
And Agbayani has some speed to get down the line. I think that Sydney Berzon just wanted to make sure, instead of rushing herself for a potential double play, that she for sure got that out at home. But that's an off-speed curveball that Berzon can throw for a strike. Got Agbayani to hit it off the end of her bat for weak contact.
Freshman Sydney Barker takes a sharp strike one. Barker's only making her 20th start of the year. 9 of her 16 hits, 4 extra bases, including a grand slam back in mid-February against Baylor. Berzon is 1 strike, 1 pitch away from limiting the damage. It won't come here. Three freshmen in the starting lineup for Oklahoma. Barker, the third of 3. He'll take one just off the corner.
So much patience at the plate for Oklahoma. I mean, they know the strike zone so well.
Second best walk rate in the SEC of any team. Barker to third. Coffey's right at the bag. Oklahoma gets the first run on 3 walks and a hit batter.
Here against Landry.
Yeah, definitely an area that can be some growth for her. It's just to drive the ball the other way, but she is so strong that she can still pull a lot of those outside pitches and create hits, extra base hits, and even home runs.
Beth Torena said, I don't know if there's a freshman in the country who's being pitched like Tori Edwards. If there is, it's probably a short list. The 18 homers tied for the LSU single season record. And Isabella Emmerling heads over to the dugout. Something on her wrist. Got the blue tape that's become an Oklahoma staple back there. A target for the pitcher to throw. Ball. Tori Edwards, a redshirt freshman. She only played in 3 games last year. Was 1 for 6 with 3 walks. And she's gone from barely playing and redshirting to having the best slugging percentage in a season in LSU history.
I watched her hit in December. I was at the same facility that she was just taking swings off of a tee, and even off of a tee in a long cage, I mean, the ball just comes off of her bat differently. It sounds different, even when the ball is not moving toward her.
Way out in front of that, strike 2 from Landry. So 2 all-SEC players to be with a great matchup here. Landry has the upper hand and misses just above the dirt. We've seen back-to-back strikeouts on full count pitches. Change up and a drop ball. What do you think's coming here?
Go back to that changeup through the zone. Full count changeup, her favorite pitch. Oh, drop ball on the outside corner and a great take.
Nerves of steel by the freshman to lay off that on 3-2, and she's got a leadoff walk.
Yeah, both of these teams are figuring out the strike zone early. We're seeing a lot of drop balls thrown between Landry and Berzon, and not a lot of low strikes called.
Ball. Remember, the 4-run second inning yesterday for LSU started when Edwards led off the inning by being hit by a pitch. So she gets a free pass of a different kind to set up Mackenzie Rudity. Ball. Someone who's been a little overshadowed by big stars in her time in Baton Rouge. Senior from Franklin, North Carolina, is a career .299 hitter, .404 on base, .489 slugging, just as steady as it comes. I bet Torena thinks this has been Rudity's best year of her career. Much better as a run producer. Said her swing decisions working with Bryce Neal have been excellent.
She gets overshadowed a lot, but just truly one of the more consistent players that you've seen start for the past few years at LSU, but of other names that she's always been plugged into the lineup with, especially that senior class that graduated last year. Now hit behind Tori Edwards.
Rudity pops a 3-1 to right field. Barker's there for the first out. Here's one of the stars down the stretch for LSU, Jaden Leno, who had an opposite field single in that 4-run inning yesterday.
Ball outside.
Beth Torina told us Jaden should be the poster child for anybody on a roster who didn't get what they wanted last year. Said there was never a day where she didn't work or quit trying even though she didn't have opportunities. And fought her way into a starting spot this year.
Yeah, and Jaden Leno is a really cool story that Beth Torina told us about that I thought was kind of funny and gives a little insight into how long they've had a relationship for. She talks with the hitting coach Bryce Neal there, but she was in 7th grade and committed to LSU the night before the early recruiting rule changed. And so Beth Torina said, I was talking to her on the phone, and she was working on dividing fractions and all this, more easy 7th grade type math is like what the conversations were about that she was having with Jaden Leno, because she was so young and committed to LSU. But then she couldn't talk to her again for 5 years. But she would go around the country watching her play travel ball, and she said she would always find the barrel. She would always get hits, and didn't talk to her for
that ace. She'll see an 8th pitch at least.
See her in scoring position. She could easily score on something to the outfield.
It's a career high 12 wild pitches for Landry, who's now behind 3-0 against Daniel. Sam Landry, 2.10 ERA this year, 143 2/3 innings, more than double any other pitcher on this staff in terms of innings thrown. And there's a walk. Their second of the